It is an absolutely beautiful morning here at Randfontein Training Centre, North Rand, and behind me is the ring of Mike de Kock, where he trains his racehorses. And although he has been former champion trainer, he's not here today. We're going to speak to his son Matthew about the chances of Hawwaam, who takes his place in the Premier's Champions Challenge, worth 4 million rand. We don't want to make comparisons with him and Horse Chestnut, because Horse Chestnut, we all know, was the supreme champion. But it's fair to say that there are some distinct similarities. Both of them had their first start at Turffontein, one over 1,000 metres and the other over 1,400 metres. One with Johnny Gerudis in the irons, the other one with Randall Simons, with no whip nogal. Gavin Larena then took over, as did Waishong Marwing with Horse Chestnut, until a guy by the name of Mike Smith rode Horse Chestnut at Gulfstream Park. Who knows who will ride Hawwaam when he goes overseas, if he goes overseas. But in the meantime, Gavin Larena has to ride Cascapedia for Jessica Jill and Mary Slack. And this means that Anton Marcus, who has ridden in these silks before, particularly on a filly called Majmu, will take over duty from Gavin Larena on Hawwaam. So as Matthew de Kock leaves the track, we're going to lasso him. We're going to find out exactly how Hawwaam's preparation has gone, and so too Cascapedia and Noble Secret. Loyalty and contractual agreement come into play, where I'm sure Gavin Larena wouldn't have it any other way other than to be loyal to Jessica, Maritzfontein and Wilgeborstrift, and he rides Cascapedia in the 4 million rand Premier's Champions Challenge.
Yeah, last time out we had a couple of excuses. She's had 2 runs in the soft and she's really hated it. So I would say you could put a line through her last run. You know, she might not have beaten horses like Susanna, but she was definitely further back than we thought she would be. She's come out of that run well. We've taken the blinkers off her as well for Saturday, put the tongue tie on. She's got a history of making respiratory noises. So we're trying a few things. Hopefully if they all come together, she can reproduce one of her best performances. If she does do that, then she must be a runner.
The case of Noble Secret, he's a horse that you've expressed a measure of confidence over extended trips, but you can't put your nose up at the kind of prize money that's on offer over 2,000 here.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, we were going to use a race in 2 weeks' time to prep him for some staying races coming up, and then you know, you look at a race like this and they're paying 40,000 rand down to 10th place, and he's in good form, and on his day he can beat, you know, the majority of this field. So we thought we would take our chances. You know, barring probably 3 or 4 horses, the rest of them, it's wide open for those minor places. Like I said, he's in good form, and you never know your luck in the big city.
And then, of course, Hawwaam, the Teletrack campaign has been aggressive. He deserves it. And obviously, the most important thing about the Derby is that nobody died. At the end of the day, he came out of it in good shape, and you had a projection going forward to this very important race.
Yeah, and he, between then and now, the prep's gone really well. He hardly had a scratch on him after the Derby, but you know, you can't run a concussion test on him like you can with a human straight away and see if they're okay. You know, we weren't sure to what degree he had hurt his head when he fell over, so we couldn't take the chance. But like I said, he's really come out of it well. We've taken him to the course, galloped him again. He's in a good space. It's his first time against older horses, and from previous runs with Sukrat and Cirillo beating older horses, it looks like the 3-year-olds are level up, but he's still got to go out there and prove it. No complaints, he got a good draw, and everything's gone smoothly.
Well, I suppose there's no better way of proving that you are a candidate for Horse of the Year by beating the Horse of the Year. And of course his stable companion Tilbury Fort's no slouch either.
Yeah, I mean, they're quality horses. Tilbury Fort, Legal Eagle, Cascapedia, they're no slouches for older horses. And to be a good horse, you've got to beat your generation, the generation above you, and the generation below you. And Saturday is going to get his opportunity to race against the next generation.
You know, some people actually have the cheek. You know, Horse Chestnut wasn't a striking individual. He didn't knock you off your feet. He wasn't like a bit like Buffalo Bill Cody, who's just drop dead gorgeous. This horse is completely different. He walks like a panther. You can see he's an athlete, but you know, he doesn't knock your socks off, and you walk around in the parade ring and say, well, that's definitely Hawwaam, even though he has got distinct markings.
Yeah, he's a classic looking horse, and I mean, he did cost 1 million rand, so no one can say he's not good looking. He's a good looking individual, but yeah, you wouldn't pick him out in a ring. Maybe only the way he walks, like you said, he really walks with a purpose, and he's an intelligent horse. He knows what to do he knows when to work fast, when to work slow. He's not a stupid animal, and not much more I can add than that.
Finally, Matt, I noticed when he fell over at the Derby, Legal Eagle had also shown inclinations to be unruly, and they walked him straight through the parade ring with a lead horse out onto the track. You've got Milan in evidence for Gin Fizz earlier on. What exactly is the plan? What are you planning to try and circumvent any kind of big match boil over?
Yeah, we've got a plan in mind, and everyone will just see it on Saturday. He's obviously not going to be hanging around in the ring for more time than he needs to. So, and he went and galloped there 2 weeks ago. So he saw the environment again, and he behaved well. And we're really happy.
And finally, it would be very hard to look for a suitable replacement other than Superman Anton Marcus in the absence of Gavin Lerena on Cascapedia.
100%. Fortunately, guys like Delpesh are not available. So people like Anton, been around the world, ridden in Group 1s around the world, can handle big pressure like this, and you wouldn't want anybody else on.
And he's taken the trouble to come up here on his own, at his own expense, to ride the horse 2 or 3 times, I believe.
Yeah, anyone that knows Anton knows that that's par for the course. He's extremely professional, does his homework, and really wanted to come and get a feel of Hawwaam. So that's been a big help.